Hi, my name is Lester G. Smith, the author of Hidden Possibilities, The Music Within. Hidden Possibilities, The Music Within is a book that is based on a series of stories from the different facilities that I have the pleasure of providing music as a facilitator. As a music facilitator, it gives me great pleasure to observe and with care whenever I go to the senior homes, senior facilities, assisted living, quarters to meet and greet the individuals who are living in those homes. But today was a special day. What happened today broke my heart even before I began. A lady was sitting. I know she's always a happy lady, but for some reason today, this particular day that I came in, she was sad. She was crying. She had tears coming down her face. She sat down and she was asking for attention in her own way as I observed and was looking while I was setting up the equipment. Something drew my attention to her to say, hi. So I say, hi, why are you crying? In her own vocabulary, she whispered, "Papa." She spoke in a language that is not verbalized in English. So I took that and I said, okay. I started to talk to her as she was talking to me in her language. And I know in my heart that when my dad had his stroke, he could only speak with syllables, 2-syllable words. But this lady, she had the pleasure of multiple syllable words, but it was rhythmic, it was musical, and it had something in it called passion. And it was that passion that she was expressing that drew my attention even closer to her. So I started to get ready to play. So I took my guitar out, put it on my shoulder, and while she was sitting, I kept talking to her and just playing full chords on the guitar. To my surprise, she looked at me with a smile, yet tears was in her eyes. But the smile was trying to rise from the tear and the sadness in her heart. She had a paper in her hand and she was tinkering with that paper. It was while she was doing that, I started a Bob Marley tune, No Woman No Cry, very slowly. And I started to tell a story behind No Woman No Cry. And she was relating to it somehow. But I know she had a little trust in me to continue the conversation. Not locking out any other participants in the room, but giving her the opportunity to continue her conversation with me. To my surprise, she began to dry her tears. She began to dry her tears as I myself was feeling rather emotional at the moment. So as she was drying her tears, I went into another song, and this little light of mine, and I started talking about the light of love. But it was her continuous smile within the tears that was now coming up and up. And what I did was so amazing to me was to bring that smile out of her. So with the help of the music and the choice of music, the musicality of her voice, the music that lives within her began to come out, and now she started to repeat with laughter. She began to repeat with laughter, papa papa tata tata papa tapa, rhythmic patterns, the rhythmic patterns of joy, and that smile coming out. You could sense the musicality that was always there, rising to the surface to the point where she was now happy and clapping her hands and sharing with me the joy of the music within her. So once again, I just wanted to share this moment with you because being in an environment where I can observe and tell stories and trigger expressions of individuals who are going through dementia, who are having issues, still there is a life, a spiritual self within that individual. The physical might look broken, but the spiritual self come alive through the music within.